up, guys? What's up? My name is Marshall Porteous. I moved to BC from Calgary, Alberta 8 years ago to pursue a career in professional hockey, which is obviously going really well. Thanks for laughing early at that. That was fucking rude. Yeah, man. I moved here from Alberta. Very different in BC, man. You guys are all so nice and progressive and kind. Like, I was raised by racist rednecks and cowboys, man. Like, moving here, I had a hard time fitting in. It was difficult for me. Like, I got buddies in Kelowna who tell me shit that I just, like, I don't have the same reaction to. I had a buddy last week telling me about this news article about this woman in the UK who woke up with a Chinese accent. He spent 10 minutes telling me how bad he felt for her. It wasn't my first thought. My first thought was I really hope she didn't drive home from the hospital. I'm trying to be better. I'm getting there. It's different here though, man. I played hockey for 20 years. I got a missing tooth. And back home, it's a badge of honor. You know, like people see it, they assume you're a hockey player or a cowboy. And, you know, they ask you the story that's associated with it. It's kind of a dope interaction. So when I moved to BC, I thought I'd use it as an opportunity to meet girls. So I smelled this chick at a house party a few years ago, and she walked up to me real slow. She got up to my ear and she whispers, "What's your dealer's number?" That one sucked, man. That one sucked. I didn't believe it. I was like, are drugs really that bad in BC? But then last summer I went to a concert here, and on my way to the venue, I got lost. And I ended up on East Hastings. And for a boy who moved that. Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm from Calgary, man. That was an adjustment for me. Like, I've never seen that shit before. Like, it was crazy. It's a dark place. Well, I shouldn't say dark, you know, it's mostly white guys. Yeah, it's crazy, man, it's crazy. I see it in Kelowna all the time too, like it's starting to spread there. That's where I live now. I work downtown Kelowna as a bouncer. I don't, believe it or not winning too much, but that's what I do for a living. You know? Last week, somebody asked me what the craziest thing I've ever seen there was, and it was nuts. I kicked this big, tall white guy out, and on his way out, he turned around and he called me the N-word. Now, to the average person, you know, that's a hell of a thing to say to somebody. That's a shitty thing to say. But you gotta remember, like, I don't know if any of you guys listen to rap music, but for a white guy named Marshall who wears basketball shoes, that's a hell of a compliment. But I thought about that interaction. I was like, why am I so insecure that I took that as a compliment? That's insane. So I went to therapy about it. I love therapy. Therapy's great. And my therapist said to me, let's do an exercise. We think about all the times that insecurity ruined a really good thing for you. So I started thinking about my ex-relationships. And we thought about this moment where my ex and I were sitting on the couch, and she asked me who my celebrity crush was. Now, I was dating a brunette at the time, so I thought the safest play would be to say Megan Fox, you know. Then I asked her, I said, who's yours? And while she's sitting there thinking, I'm like, please say Conan O'Brien, please say Conan O'Brien. She turns to me, looks me dead in the eyes, and she says, Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa, man. I don't know if you guys know what he looks like. This big Hawaiian guy with all his skin and tattoos. I look like Ed Sheeran with a vitamin deficiency. That one hurt. She left me. She left me for another guy, and that sucked for me. So I went back to my therapist and I talked to her about it. And she said, you know what, you should take some comfort knowing that when a woman leaves a man for another guy, she's then twice as likely to do it to the guy that she left you for. That brought me some comfort, you know. Felt even more comfort when I found out she left me for a soccer player, because I knew he was just as likely as she was to leave for another guy. Made me feel a little bit better. Anyway, speaking of sexual deviance, anybody watch that Epstein documentary? Wild, man, wild. I recently finished it. Like, I know I'm late to this, but I watched that documentary and then I did some research and I saw the list came out, and that list was nuts, man. Like Bill Clinton, Chris Tucker. But there was one name that really stood out to me in particular, which is ironic because he can't stand. But it was Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking was on that island, man. I asked my mom about it and I was like, hey mom, like, did you know Stephen Hawking was a pedophile? Isn't that crazy? She goes, well, she's trying to be progressive too. She's trying to grow. She says to me, Marshall, we don't really know if he was, you know. Like a lot of guys who were there, they said they were there for surfing, so we can't really get to the bottom of it. He's dead now, so we'll never know. I'm like, Mom, Hawking's not getting on a board. You know, your mind, he's hanging 10. That's insane. You imagine that deposition? Mr. Hawking, what were you doing on Epstein's Island? Jeff took me surfing. No one's buying that. But I do take some comfort, because I believe in the death penalty for pedophiles. And he passed away before we kind of come to a conclusion about any of this. So I do take some comfort knowing that technically Stephen Hawking did die in an electric chair. Anyway, you guys, that's my time. Thank you very much.
Start the parties, everybody!